My name is Emma. What I'm about to tell you happened 5 years ago. But even now, when I'm alone at night or hear footsteps behind me, it all comes rushing back. That fear that wrapped itself around my bones like a cold, wet blanket, it never really left. I was in my senior year of high school, living in a small, quiet town where everyone knew everyone. My boyfriend, Tyler, was a year younger, but his behavior was anything but childish. Honestly, he often felt like a grown man trapped in a teenage boy's body. At first, things were fine. We'd go out a lot, watch movies together, but slowly, I started to notice just how controlling he was. He told me what to wear, who I could talk to, even when I should go to bed. At first, I thought it was just him being protective. But it wasn't that. It was obsession. When I got accepted into a local college, it felt like a fresh start. But for Tyler, it felt like the end of the world. I told him I wanted to break up. At first, he didn't say anything, just stared. Then the messages started. Over 200 texts a day, calls, threats. He started showing up at my classes, waiting outside my house. One night, I went to the movies with my best friend Rachel. When we came back to the parking lot, I noticed a long, deep scratch across the passenger door of my car. Rachel leaned forward to check the back seat. Then she froze. "Emma," she whispered. "He's in there." Tyler was lying on the floor behind the seats, hiding, waiting. I was terrified. I got a new car, new plates. I even switched dorms. But he found me again. I moved into a small off-campus apartment with 2 other girls, Mia and Sophie. One night I was in the shower when I heard the door creak. I thought it was one of the girls, but the footsteps, they were wrong. Wrapped in a towel, I stepped into the hallway, and there he was. Tyler, just standing there. I told him to get out. Instead, he stepped toward me, holding a knife. I locked myself in the bathroom and called the cops. By the time they got there, he was gone. Eventually, I met James. He was kind, gentle, and for the first time in a long while, I felt safe. I told him about Tyler, all of it. But one night, when we were out together, Tyler showed up with 5 other guys. They jumped James, beat him bloody. His lip was split, his nose broken, all because Tyler believed I had betrayed him. I moved back in with my parents. I thought I'd finally be safe. But one Sunday morning, around 5 a.m., I heard something outside my window. Tyler was trying to break into our house. My dad, Frank, an ex-military man, tall and terrifying, came out of his room with his gun. He opened the front door. Tyler was just a few steps away. My dad didn't say a word. He just raised the gun and pressed it into Tyler's mouth. I will never forget that moment. Tyler's face went pale. He couldn't speak. He looked terrified, really terrified for the first time. We didn't call the cops. My dad just said, "Don't ever come back." And that was it. We never saw him again. It's been 5 years. He hasn't come near me since. But every time I visit that town, I sometimes catch a glimpse of him across the street. And he always looks away. And me, I still sleep with the doors locked. I'd be grateful if you could like the video before I continue the story. I'm Avery. I'm 20, short and petite. One of those people who smiles in every situation, even when I really don't want to. I work at a quiet little subway in a small town in Oregon. Everything seems peaceful here, but you never know what kind of nightmare can crawl out of that peace. It all started about a year ago. A man, maybe 35 to 40, with thinning hair, scruffy beard, and crooked glasses began showing up every single day around lunchtime. At first, I thought he was just one of those regulars with a set routine. But from day one, I had this awful feeling in my gut. That quiet, heavy sense that something isn't right. His name was Rick. I learned that from his credit card. Rick had an obsession: my stretched ears. You know, the kind of stretched lobes you work for, with pain and patience. Every single day he asked about them. How long it took, if it hurt, how I cleaned them. Then he moved on to my other piercings, my nose, eyebrow, the little stud above my lip. While ordering, he stared directly into my eyes. And since he paid, he would sit at the same table every time, one with a perfect view of the counter. He would sit there for 2 hours, staring, unblinking. This routine went on for 2 weeks, every day without fail. At some point, he started telling me he had a bunch of plugs and tunnels, some rare discontinued ones he wanted to give me. Said he'd love to see how they would look on me. Every time I politely declined. I didn't want to be rude, but I was making a mistake. One slow afternoon, Tina, my manager, had to step out to the bank. I was alone, no customers, dead quiet. I sat in the back room scrolling through my phone. Then I heard the door chime. I looked up, but no one was there. A few seconds later, I caught sight of Rick walking quickly past the front window. Like he was in a hurry, but something about it made my skin crawl. Seconds later, the store phone rang.
Thanks for calling Subway. How can I help you?
The slow, scratchy voice answered.
This is the girl with the pretty ears, right?
My chest tightened.
Yeah?
Who is this?
Are you alone in the back room right now? Is anyone else with you?
My heart dropped. I ended the call immediately and texted Tina. Come back, that guy just called. He's watching me. Then he called again. I didn't answer. Third time, I picked up, just to get it over with. His voice was quieter now, but so much worse. What would you do if we locked the door and it was just me and you in there? Do you really have a boyfriend, or are you just playing hard to get? You're just teasing me. You know you're mine eventually, right? My hands were shaking. My breath was uneven. I felt like I was being watched through the glass. When Tina came back, I was nearly crying. I told her everything. She got real serious, said if he ever called or came back, she'd call the cops. And then he called again. Right in the middle of the lunch rush, Tina picked up. I'll never know what he said, but the color drained from her face. Her jaw clenched. If you ever call here again or show up, we're calling the police. Do you understand? And just like that, he vanished. For a few days. A week later, rainy day, I was clocking out and getting ready to head home. My car was parked right in front of the store. Just before stepping outside, something made me pause. I glanced up at the foggy window. A silhouette. I looked closer. Rick, standing next to my car, leaning over and peering inside. My pulse exploded. I froze. Then I watched him slowly open my back door. I hadn't locked it. Crawl inside and quietly close it behind him. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Tina saw my face and rushed to lock the store's front door. Then she called the cops. When the police arrived, they had to drag him out of my car. He didn't scream, he didn't talk. He just laughed. This quiet, cracked up kind of laugh. In his coat pockets, they found a butcher knife, rope, and a rag soaked in something strong, chloroform. He was planning to take me, or worse. That night, I didn't sleep a second. All I could think about was, what if I hadn't looked up? What if I just walked out, got in my car? Rick was arrested. I don't know what happened to him after that. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know. But ever since that day, something inside me changed. Every time I'm alone at night, I hear that chime. I hear the phone ringing. I feel eyes on me. I picture the shadow walking past the window, the silence in my back seat. Now I never leave my car doors unlocked, and I always check behind me before I sit down. Because monsters don't live under your bed. Sometimes they sit at the same table every day, smiling at you from across the room. If you want to hear more scary stories, make sure to subscribe so we can reach 1,000 subs soon and bring you more.